Alrighty, so everyone, thank you so much for joining in on this webinar. My name's Elle Spector. I'm the one in the middle on the screen you're looking at right now. I'm joined here with Leslie and Aaron, and together we're going to be discussing Pinterest, Tumblr, and Instagram for you guys today. So this webinar will take a deeper look at these marketing platforms, and if you do have any other questions pertaining to marketing, feel free to visit us at www.ajaxunion.com. Also, we will be holding questions until the end of the webinar, but if you do have any of them, there is a questions box, and I will be monitoring that, so just feel free to check that out. And I guess we'll just get started. So here we go. Leslie, Pinterest, it's all you.
Okay, hello and welcome. I'm going to be doing a little bit about one of the newer marketing platforms out there. You've probably heard of it, Pinterest. It got really popular this year. Before we get started, I think we want to launch a poll real quick just to see where everyone is at in our audience.
So we're just going to launch a poll right now, and this poll is, what are your social networking goals? So please select all that apply. Is it to be social, to network, to promote your business, or to waste time at work? Which hopefully, I do see some people posting the last option, which I mean is I guess fine for a few minutes here and there, but hopefully you do have other aspirations with social networking as well. So I'm going to leave this up for about 40 seconds or so. All right, and I do see that about 80% of you guys have voted, which is fantastic. I'm just going to leave this up for another 10 seconds and then close out the poll and share the results with everyone. Okay, so let's just share these results. Close, and let me share them with you. All right, so I do see that 64% of you guys said that you use these social networking sites to be social, which is fantastic. 43 to network, 64 to promote your business, which is why we're here, so that's awesome. And 14 of you guys to waste time at work, which, I mean, you know, is neither here nor there, but hopefully we can help you incorporate it into a good marketing strategy for your business as well. Just close out of this. And Leslie.
Okay, yeah, great. It's really good to not only be social and network. Obviously, that's how many of these got their name, social networking. So one of them is Pinterest, and it kind of exploded in the past year. As you can see, I have a couple quick stats. In case you haven't heard of it, it's pretty important. And BlogHer said 47% of U.S. online consumers have made a purchase based on recommendations from Pinterest. So it's great if businesses are online and pinning some of their own stuff, because people on Pinterest will go then and buy it. And Shareaholic says that Pinterest has generated more referral traffic for businesses than Google plus YouTube and LinkedIn combined. So, I mean, those aren't Facebook and Twitter, but it's definitely up there among some of the top competitors in the social networking world. One of the newer things that Pinterest launched just a couple months ago was Pinterest for Business. Probably a lot of people were on there with just general user accounts, but using it as their business, but now there's actually an official business account and you can join as your business. So we're going to talk about a bunch of different tips businesses can use to get the most out of Pinterest. So if we just want to go to the next slide. So if you don't know what Pinterest is and you haven't been on it yet, it's basically just an online pin board where you share photos of things that you think are neat, cool, anything, you know, recipes, clothing, crafts, graphs, ideas, anything that is visual, you can put it up there and share it with your followers. So it's very visually oriented. People are frequently updating it, and it's, as we've mentioned, really popular and fast-growing over the past year. It went from being beta to now fully open to everyone, and then they added business. So obviously a lot of people are interested in being on Pinterest. And one of the great things for businesses is you can use it to promote your own brand, and every time you put up a picture, it links back to the source it came from. So if you're putting up a picture from your website, it's taking users directly to your website once you click on it. It's also great because you can use keywords in there for your description or any of your title of your board, so you can definitely be helping yourself out with search engine optimization as well. And then you, of course, as with many networks, it's interconnected, so you can be sharing your Pinterest pins to your other followers on other social networks, and it helps you reach a new community that you might not have been reaching out to before. So we can go to the next slide. So this is just an example of a couple different elements of Pinterest where you can really use it to your advantage for SEO. So the top is an example of Ajax Union's own description. So you really can want to fill this out as completely as you can when you sign up and add a description with a few of your keywords, link to Twitter and your website, make sure everyone can easily find you. You can also use keywords that you're interested in promoting when you build a board. So as you can see, this one has hashtag Cabernet Day. Hashtags are work just like they do on Twitter. You can use them in your description or as a name of a board, and that'll help people when they're searching for something. They can put in hashtag Cabernet Day, and hopefully everything that has been tagged with that will show up in their search results. So that's great if you have something you're trying to promote for just a few days or a keyword you want everyone talking about, make sure you can throw in the hashtag there. And then additionally, every time you make a pin, you'll have the option to put in a description. So here's a great way to add in, describe the product that you're showing, and also, again, you can use any of your keywords that you're focusing on for your business. And then, as you can see, it says who pinned it and from what site it came from. So again, it'll link back directly to your site. So that's great for promoting your SEO. Go to the next slide. So if any of that was a little over your head, we can take a step back and kind of define everything that comprises Pinterest. So first of all, you have boards, which is just the collection of all your pins. And this allows you to easily organize interests. So you can say, here's my style board, here's my home board, here's my food board. So it's an easy way for visitors to look at you and see the different categories that you're interested in, and also as you're finding images that you want to pin, it helps you easily organize them. And then a pin is simply the image that you're posting to your board. As I stated, it links back to whatever item you are pinning. So if it's a recipe or a blog post or a photo, it will go back to the site you got it from. When you repin, that's just reposting an image that's already on Pinterest. Again, there will be a description box. It's probably already filled out by the first pinner, but you have the option to delete that and add in your own message if you want to. And then Pinterest also has a like button. It's slightly more personal than repins, and it's items that you want to really remember, but you don't want them to show up in your dashboard. So sometimes I always personally do like my cake recipes. That way I'm not pinning a bunch of cake recipes to all my followers. It's like, oh yeah, I want to make that later. So that's important. If you don't want it to go on your to all your followers, you can just like something and Pinterest will remember it for you. We can go to the next slide. So for businesses, here are some things that you'll want to make sure you're doing on your Pinterest account. You'll want to make sure that you're getting creative and fun and really putting some useful things out there. You are definitely encouraged to promote your own brand, but you don't want 10 boards of just all of your own stuff. You want to think about who your customer base is and what they're interested in. So this is an example from Auric Vacuum. So instead of having just a million different pictures of their like all their different vacuums or maybe vacuum bags or whatever, they really thought about what their customers are interested in and kind of tailored their boards to that. So you'll really want to think about your clientele and sort of, okay, these people are cleaning floors, so they're interested in setting floors, yes. They're also interested in general cleaning, yes. And then, we have the Fun Furry Friends board, which, is not only fun and interactive for a lot of people who like pets, but also if you're a pet owner, you're probably vacuuming a lot of pet hair up. So it's always just kind of finding something fun but that's also useful and interesting and not just blatant self-promotion. So if we can go to the next slide. Some more things that you can do if you're wondering what to pin. You can pin pictures of your employees. This is an example of all the personal trainers at a gym that's on Pinterest. So you can get to, and I think the description had, more about them, so you can really learn about the employees. So your customers can find out about your business and who comprises your business. You can also kind of think about what's trending in the world and make a board about that. This is an example of different Olympic-inspired pieces that Refinery 29 put up during the Olympics. So, you can definitely take advantage of, the Oscars are coming up, Valentine's Day is coming up. So anything like that that'll have a big event, you can work around that and create themed boards around that. And then you can also create contributor boards, which is an interesting aspect of Pinterest that allows more than just you to add to a board. So if you see down at the bottom where it says who wants to eat dinner, 100 pins, and then there's this little group that's supposed to be a group of people letting users know that it's a contributor board, and you invite people to be contributors, so it's not just random, but you can invite people that you want to be involved with your pin boards and let people know that, if you have some really good customers that are interactive on Pinterest, you might want to let them have a board. Or if you have employees that aren't necessarily running the Pinterest account every day from work, you can let them, contribute on their free time to a board or something. So it's a way to broaden your community and interact with some more people. You can go to the next slide. So the first thing you might want to do is when you join Pinterest, you want to see what from your site is already out there. So you can do this pretty easily on Pinterest if you just follow that URL. It's pinterest.com/source/your website. So in this case, I did ModCloth. So I just typed in, after the /source, I typed in ModCloth. And this showed all the pins that were from a clothing site called ModCloth. And so as you can see, none of these are from ModCloth themselves. They're all from people who just were at the site and saw it and wanted to pin it to remember it, or maybe they repinned it from someone else. So it's a really good way if you're curious to see, what people are interested in from your site. You can easily check out that URL and go, oh, wow, I had no idea that, this section of my site was so popular on Pinterest. When I'm running the business account, I want to make sure to incorporate that into my pins. So that's a really helpful place to start if you're kind of wondering, what should I do? Next slide. You'll also want to make sure you are following users as they engage with you. With every social network, it's always nice to follow back with people. So Pinterest, when you're in your dashboard, you have it on the side. It's really easy. They suggest friends for you to follow that are new. That have joined Pinterest. You can also easily start interacting with people that you aren't necessarily friends with by looking at your recent activity, and it'll show you everyone who's repinned something that you pinned. And this is a really good way to add new followers, because obviously they're interested in something you pinned, and so you can just click on them and start following them as well. You also may want to check out your competition on Pinterest and see who's following them, and you can do that again by following the URL and simply doing pinterest.com/source/ your competitor's URL. So in this case, I did Betty Crocker, and you can find out not only what Betty Crocker is pinning or what's coming from bettycrocker.com, but you can also start following some of the people that have been interested in that. If you're, say, a baking company, you can see what people are interested in and kind of start taking some of their followers, because they'll probably also be interested in your Pinterest boards. Okay, we can go to the next one. So if you're signing up for your brand, you need your brand name, and you're also going to want to sign up for Pinterest with the new Pinterest account. You can also convert if you already have a Pinterest account that you signed up before there was for businesses. So you can just go to business.pinterest.com, and that'll help you sign up for a business account or convert your profile. You'll also want to make sure your profile can get indexed by search engines. So you want to make sure that when you're in your settings that you hide your Pinterest profile from search engines, that's switched to off, making it so search engines will index you to help boost your SEO. And as I said, you just want to make sure you're getting creative and thinking about lifestyle boards, resource boards, using user generation boards, or even running a promotion on Pinterest. Next slide. So this is an example of a contest that we ran for one of our clients who sells home decor items. So we kind of cross-promoted it on Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter, and it was a great way to not only promote the Pinterest page itself, but also to get lots of backlinks from Classic Hostess' site. If you just went to classichostess.com and you picked 5 things that you wanted from their site, you put that on your Pinterest board, and you hashtagged it with Classic Hostess and hashtag spring, it would allow us to easily find what you pinned, and then that was great for getting a lot of links back to their site. And then someone got to win a drink dispenser. So it's pretty simple. Lots of companies out there are doing really creative contests, so it's really just a matter of figuring out the logistics on Pinterest. If we go to the next slide. This is another really good contest idea if you're thinking about it, that Sony put on. So it was really creative. They would have like exclusive deals that became unlocked once so many Pinterest users repinned a picture. So once they knew that it had been seen by at least 20 people, they unlocked the deal, and so it's really great to get more traffic. People are going to be repinning all your stuff, so it's a great way if you want to promote the fact that you now have a Pinterest and get people really looking at your Pinterest every day. So we can go to the next slide. There are also a couple tools. This is one that I think is pretty popular, WooBox for business. So I think almost everybody usually asks if you can connect your Facebook fan page to your Pinterest, something a lot of businesses want to do. Unfortunately, it's not an option yet. You can connect to Facebook, but it'll be your Facebook profile, not like your business Facebook page. So as a workaround, you can use WooBox, and it will have a Pinterest app show up on Facebook that when you click on it, it will take users right to your Pinterest page. So that's kind of a good way to, right now, promote Pinterest on Facebook, because it's kind of the best option. Hopefully that'll change, because that's definitely the #1 question I get, but this is the best option we have now. And next slide. So if you're a B2B business and you're not really sure what to do on Pinterest and you think it's only crafts and clothes and you don't have anything to offer, that's not really true. There's lots of room for service-based businesses to be on Pinterest as well, and I think making infographics and sharing information is a really good way to participate on Pinterest and still be giving useful information and not necessarily just being a consumer-based business. So if you're interested in making an easy infographic, you can go to Infogram. That's infogr.am, kind of hard to say, but you can simply plug in the numbers from your data, and it'll help create a beautiful infographic for you to share on Pinterest. Next slide. And lastly, for free tools that are super helpful for businesses is Pingraphy. This allows you to schedule your pins, and it also provides metric about your Pinterest followers. So you can easily upload your pins all at once, schedule when you want them to go, and then it'll provide metrics for what how well your pin performs. So this is a great way if you're kind of new to Pinterest and you're thinking you're not sure what to do and you're kind of trying out all different types of pictures and blogs and everything. This will help you find out what your followers are most interested in. So that's a really great option for you to learn more about your followers, start pinning the items that they're most interested in, and also easily schedule them for time when you're not around. Pinterest is really active in the evening and on weekends, so it's great if you're not at work to just schedule things to come out on the evenings or weekends and still make sure you're active on Pinterest even when you're not necessarily in the office. Next slide.
All right, perfect. And I think that's what we had on Pinterest. Now we're going to move on to the second social networking platform, which is Tumblr. I do invite you guys to ask questions. I already see a lot of questions rolling in, which is fantastic. We're going to do about 15 minutes on Tumblr now, and then another 15 minutes on Instagram. And then we're just going to get to everyone's questions all at once at the end. So definitely ask before you forget, and we'll make sure you get those answered at the end of the webinar. So Tumblr, just get started with this. What is Tumblr? Tumblr is a microblog. It's a blog just like any other website. It has a URL and is formatted using HTML. What's the difference between websites and blog websites like Tumblr? So blogs get updated on a regular basis, or at least it's really good if they are. And why should you be using Tumblr or a Tumblr blog for your business, and should you be, is a question in itself. You have customers and potentials that want information from your company, and a blog, especially a Tumblr blog, is a great way to share this information with them and show them that you're an expert in their field, It gives customers and clients a reason to trust you because they know what you're talking about, and it's also a great way to generate links to your website, which is the foundation of SEO. So specifically about Tumblr, like I said, Tumblr is a microblogging platform and social networking site. Tumblr hosts over 87 million blogs, which is a huge number. And a few things that set Tumblr apart from other blogging platforms like WordPress is that it has built-in tagging and sharing functionality. It's really easy to use, and it shows a great response to visual content. Very similarly to Pinterest, if you have great photos and great videos and very visual content, Tumblr and Pinterest, those are the places for you to be. So Tumblr is rapidly becoming a great social platform for brands and businesses. You can see the numbers right here. The numbers speak for themselves. They were founded in 2007, so they're still a fairly new company, but already they get billions of page views. They have 87 million blogs, billions of blog posts, and I guess only 133 employees, which definitely seems like it's going to be getting bigger in the time coming. So the biggest question that I've received about Tumblr so far is, do companies use Tumblr? And Tumblr is a great site for content and visual pictures, but is it good for companies? And I guess when you hear the word Tumblr, what do you think of? Do you think of GIFs or maybe just a site for teenagers? I guess that's the biggest knockdown or criticism I've heard of Tumblr so far, but Tumblr is just so much more than these things, and I feel like a lot of the myths that surround Tumblr make it seem as though it's kind of more of a social platform but not necessarily can be incorporated into business, which I think I can argue. There is a brands on Tumblr page, which every industry, just from fashion to finance, it's represented, and companies are finding new and more ways to interact with their customers using this platform. Unlike a standard blog, Tumblr already has a very eager audience. 88 million blogs and 40 billion posts already exist on there, and they're constantly being updated and are seeking new content. So if you're producing compelling content, especially visual things like pictures and video, your clients and your potentials will search for you, and they'll be able to follow you on Tumblr. Tumblr also has built-in interaction buttons on every post, and it makes it that much easier and that much more likely for customers and fans to share content. So another bonus, Tumblr is a favorite hangout for the millennial demographic, which means that 28% of Tumblr users are between 18 and 24, and another 28% are between 25 and 34. So to put those numbers together, that's almost 60% of the user base following you alone are between the ages of 18 and 34, which for a lot of people is a very good customer demographic. And just if anybody thinks that Tumblr might work better for consumer brands, but not necessarily for enterprise or business-focused brands, just like Leslie disproved that, I'd like to disprove that as well. The American Express Open Forum site, which is, they have a fantastic Tumblr account, and they when they launch their Tumblr, they are able to capitalize on the visual nature of their platform, and they use photos to accompany every single post and make it very interactive for their users to be able to blog and reblog other topics that might be a little bit less appropriate in a strictly business forum. So there are a lot of companies using it. The Nets use it, Red Bull uses it, BMW, everybody's on Tumblr, and definitely recommend it for your business as well. So let's talk about getting started on Tumblr. Setting up a blog on Tumblr is fairly easy. To create an account, you just sign up with your email, your password, and a username of your choice. The username then becomes your domain name, and it's displayed as username.tumblr.com. And I guess it's worth noting that domain names are unique. So if somebody already has the one you want, you'll have to choose another one. which I guess is another reason to just join ASAP. Whether or not you start using it right the second, it's good to reserve that name and make sure that an account exists for you. In terms of following people, it's very important to follow people, and it's worth taking the time to explore and gain inspiration from others. If you use the Find Blogs button to see featured blogs, you'll be able to find key topics and people that you know via Gmail or Twitter or Facebook. And the people that you follow will define the information that you see in your newsfeed, similarly to Facebook or Twitter. And let's go to choosing a design. So you can customize your Tumblr account from the blog settings area of your account. There are a lot of layouts, which are also called themes, and those are provided for free. You can also buy premium themes if you're looking for something more advanced. I'd probably recommend against this. I think that there are a very good number of free themes you can use that will still accentuate your business in a good light. Now let's talk about start posting. Interesting images with a really short amount of text work the best on Tumblr. So if you I guess I'd recommend using montages to give a greater impact, and a lot of people use humor on Tumblr. It is less formal, so it definitely has a more friendly and humorous and easygoing tone, which is important when you're considering what to post. And again, just to repeat, and I can't highlight this enough, images do work very, very well on Tumblr. Now the last thing, just I guess about getting started, would be to be frequent. Brands on Tumblr tend to post more than they do on Facebook, but less than on Twitter. So if you are going to be posting on Tumblr around 1 to 5 days, 1 to 5 times one day is a good guideline to go with. And if you're struggling to find the time, they do have a mobile app, which will allow you to post on the move, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Also, one of the things that we do here at Ajax Union is create a bank of images at the start of the month, and then that way you have content to kind of piggyback off of and to go around with, even if you don't have time to update it every single day. So 7 things you can do for your business with Tumblr. Let's go through this quickly. Number 1, define your Tumblr goals. As with anything, it's important to set your goals, because they always say that if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You know, our CEO loves to say that a lot. So in terms of defining your Tumblr goals, think about who is your target audience. Again, there is a younger audience on Tumblr, but that doesn't mean that these people can't become valuable business potentials for you. So think about your target audience, and then when you do have posts, make sure that those posts revolve around your target audience. Think about how often you're going to blog, and think about why you're opening a Tumblr account. Is it for branding? Is it to host contests? Is it just generally for your business and general promotion? You need to evaluate these things before you get into it. And I think that the same would apply for both Pinterest and Instagram as well. So I would definitely recommend using Tumblr to brand your business. There are a lot of companies that are doing it very well. So I know that BMW gives their clients a look behind the scenes, and they call it under the hood, which is kind of witty. Tiffany & Company also has a very eye-catching space. I'll show you that in 1 second. And they show jewelry tips and a lot more. Also, Whole Foods has created this whole channel, and they talk about their digital magazine. Disney does a lot of great posts where they post classic and beloved characters, and a lot of businesses in general just report that Tumblr has helped them enhance their brand's presence. They draw a lot more customers into the fold of their social networking site. Generally, I think that Tumblr just visually presents an image of what your company is about and who's behind it, as well as incorporating the products that you have to offer. And of course, like it says, by sharing related content that others will enjoy, you're indirectly informing potential customers of your existence. So even if you necessarily didn't have a customer right away, by posting things like this, Tiffany & Company, they draw people in. So even if I wasn't a Tiffany customer right away, I may see this and be more inclined to look them up online. Also, they do use the hashtag that Leslie mentioned with Pinterest as well. They hashtag things like quality, necklace, company, Tiffany, diamond ring, all these things, and this as well helps people search for Tiffany online. So integrate Tumblr with your social media would be the 3rd thing that I'd say. You can have your Tumblr posts appear in your Facebook newsfeed by activating Tumblr's Facebook app, and you can use Facebook's application settings to reconfigure or disable this feature. I saw a cool quote on Mashable that I really liked. That was, Tumblr engages us to expand on the content that we post on Facebook, Twitter, and Foursquare, and drive further traffic to our sites. So maybe having a Tumblr account by itself wouldn't necessarily be the most benevolent thing, but incorporating it with Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, which we'll go into in a few minutes, a combination of all these strategies can have a really comprehensive social networking strategy for your business. Host a contest. I think this is a very big thing for sites like Tumblr and Pinterest. I think that Facebook is good for this as well, but Facebook is almost a little bit more, I guess Facebook incorporates, company news as well, but Tumblr would just be fantastic just to host a contest. So I found a company called Three Kings Tattoo, which is located in Brooklyn, kind of close to our office. And Tumblr is just a great venue for sharing pictures of your work and images related to that realm. So this company, Three Kings, they post photos of tattoos, which we can easily see getting passed around the Tumblr community as standalone posts, and they act as live advertisements for the parlor. They host contests, and then they launch giveaways based on this brand. And also you could see they even post about about hiring a new tattooist. So would I necessarily recommend, job postings through Tumblr? Not really, but contests I think are great. And like Three Kings Tattoo does, they do invite and engage their audience to vote for their favorite tattoo. So number 5, Leslie mentioned this also with Pinterest, but consider accepting a submission. So an interesting Tumblr feature is that you can allow other bloggers to post submissions to your Tumblr blog. So I found a few Tumblr blogs that are made up of purely submissions by different bloggers, which I don't think that having a Tumblr blog that only accepts submissions is the best idea for you. I mean, I guess depending on your business, but definitely inviting users to submit things would probably be a great idea. And one company that does this really well is Dear Photograph. So I stumbled upon this and I thought it was really cool. What they do, or what Dear Photograph does, is they ask users to take a picture of something, to hold a picture of something that happened in the past over an image from the present. So kind of hard to explain, but they have their entire Tumblr feed is based entirely on these images that people post, and then they launched a whole book about it, and it's actually become pretty popular. And so what they do is they have one or more person featuring this original setting photo and blending it into a present blend, and it's a really cool artworky thing that they do. And I know that readers are very engaged in this Tumblr, so just an idea to accept submissions on your Tumblr page. Number 6 would be to post on the go. A question that I've heard before also about Tumblr is, can I post to my blog via email? And yes, you definitely can. Tumblr has an option where within your settings, once you configure your Tumblr account, there is a way to post pictures, videos, MP3s, text directly through email. So if you're if you're on the go a lot and you may not have time to sit at home and update your Tumblr, you can always just send an email to whichever email they give you, which would again just be in your settings. And this is a very easy way to customize posts and to do it on the go. And then number 7 would be to, again, just engage your audience. These sites, these social networking sites, whether it's Pinterest or Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr, they're all about interaction, and asking your clients and your potentials a question is a great way to do it. So Topshop is a store that I love a lot, and what they do on their Tumblr feed is they ask their audience a question. So right now, in the slide that I have up right now, they ask, we want to hear from you, but please only send us style-related questions. And they really try to engage their audience and have them ask about their brand. And that's a great way to get your audience to be more engaged. So then finally, I guess one big takeaway that I get from Tumblr is that it may not have been necessarily designed for brands, but brands flock to it anyway, and now they're finding it very useful. And I think that Tumblr is acknowledging this now, and in the future they're going to find a way to incorporate their business into a business that helps brands grow even more. And my guess is that over the next year or two, we're going to be seeing a much bigger brand presence on this service, and that Tumblr will offer a lot more tools for business the way that Pinterest has. And I just saw this quote that I just had to share because I loved it. I look at Tumblr as an ingredient in a bigger recipe. Tumblr helps facilitate your search efforts, which in turn drives more traffic to your site. This helps you get an indirect return on investment. Tumblr can also help create another indirect return through engagement. And that's what sites like this really do, is they engage your audience and they allow you to kind of humanize your business. And I guess now for the last part, we're just going to get into Instagram.
Okay, so to talk a little bit about Instagram following Pinterest and Tumblr. Next slide. So what is Instagram? Instagram is the free photo sharing application and social network for mobile users. It's probably one of my favorite mobile apps. Users take or upload photos, apply a filter, and post the image to their personal feed, where you can follow other users that are your friends on Facebook, or you can find random people that you're interested in following. And Instagram users can also post comments or hashtags to accompany the photo. The hashtags work in the same way that a Twitter hashtag would, to just kind of file by general interest. Next slide. Users are using it more and more to follow not only their friends, but certain brands that they like, especially bigger name brands, musicians, actors, athletes, and just fellow Instagram lovers who love posting photos. The photos are instantly shared on other social media platforms such as Facebook, Flickr, and Twitter if you allow that. And photos are square as opposed to the 4:3 aspect ratio that most mobile cameras shoot in. Next. As far as popularity, it experienced a quick rise in 2012 since its beginning. In August of 2012, Instagram had 150 million users. That number has exponentially grown since then as well. In December 2010, right after it had launched, it only had 1 million. June 2011, it had 5. September 2011, it had gained momentum with 10 million plus users. April 2012, it reached the 30 million mark. And then in September, it boasted 100 million registered users. Next. In November 2012, Instagram rolled out public profiles to accompany mobile accounts. This is one of the things that happened after Facebook acquired Instagram, which was the largest acquisition Facebook has made to date. And the company is now also offering badges to place on websites for people to advertise that they are on Instagram and to gain more followers. Next. With the new public profiles and badges, Instagram is expected to explode in popularity even more so in 2013. Some of the reasons include the amount of social media that users are engaging in. 48% of social media users utilize Instagram more often than Facebook. 61% of users have used it in the past 24 hours, which is surpassed only by Facebook at 84%. And then 83% of users use it at work. It requires almost no typing. You don't have to log in on your computer. It's just a click and a post. And 67% of Instagram's users are younger than 34. 2013, they're expecting the demographic to shift to include a broader age group, especially since it's an easy photo sharing platform for less tech-savvy people to participate. And then one of the problems with the public profiles is people feared that it looked too similar to Facebook and that the two would become too integrated. So we're trying to see how well they're going to keep those separated. Next. Some of the Instagram trends in 2012. It's all rise in purpose as part of citizen journalism. During Hurricane Sandy, it became the #1 social media platform for spreading information about the storm, especially within the greater New York metro area. People were able to post photos quickly, even if the internet was down, and Phil Gonzalez from the Instagrammers blog and community from Daily.interview said that he thought people had to be more conscious about Instagram and what they were posting because it's an important feed for news and users are potentially journalists or photographers of things happening around them. Although he said it's not going to become a news magazine source of the future, magazines will have to integrate Instagram the same way that they did with Twitter. Next. Another big trend in 2012 was the election. It was one of the most posted topics during the fall campaigns, and it took an already trending national topic and added creativity and political views to the images. People were able to post showing their support, showing that they had watched the debates or were watching the campaign and the news for it. And next. So a little bit about mobile marketing and how Instagram ties into that. Mobile marketing is defined as the use of any mobile device to provide users with a time and location sensitive, personalized information for promotion of a brand, product, or service. Traditional mobile marketing includes SMS, short message service, multimedia messages, QR codes that can be scanned with a smartphone, push notifications, in-game advertising and mobile web advertising. All right. A couple of examples of mobile marketing would be a QR code in a print magazine that allows a user to scan with an app. The customized QR code then directs the user to the company website or a relevant landing page that maybe offers a discount or has a coupon on it, or allows them to check in at a certain location. One example would be Motorola's campaign at the House of Blues that attendees were able to text in their photos to be displayed in real time as part of an advertising campaign. And the pop-up or banner advertisements in games on mobile devices, especially if you play like Zynga games, Words with Friends is really popular. Most of the free versions of apps will have some kind of in-game advertisement. Next. For inbound and outbound marketing using Instagram, Starbucks and Burberry each boast 100,000 plus Instagram followers. For an inbound marketing strategy, Starbucks asked fans to take photos of their daily drinks and post them utilizing hashtags. For outbound, Burberry posts images from photo shoots in their collections to send them out to users just to gain more popularity and to gain more followers and let people know like a behind-the-scenes look. Next. A couple other examples of Instagram marketing. For Vogue's Fashions Night Out, they offered attendees a chance to have photos published on the company's Tumblr and microsite when photos were tagged with the hashtag FNO. It provided user-generated content for the company to promote later on, and it also created an engaging environment for a lot of attendees. And for Red Bull, they held actually an Instagram contest for 2 tickets to the 2012 Red Bull King of the Rock finals in San Francisco. Followers were able to take unique photos and creative photos using a basketball and tag the photos with the hashtag Take Me to the Rock. And then Red Bull was able to promote those photos as well as select a winner from the hashtag. Next. As far as tracking Instagram marketing, measuring the amount of success your brand or company has on Instagram is a new field as well. There is a new app out called Statagram. It's a web-based tool that allows you to view your feed through searches and shows metrics for the amount of likes, the comments, and the top photos. Another advantage is the ability to see photo times and filters with the best responses. It's comparative to Facebook Insights to see viral shares and the number of likes on posts. It also has the ability to see the certain times of days that people are liking and commenting the most, and the certain times of days that people are following hashtags the most. Next. So why Instagram? Instagram offers an open network to extend reach and visibility. It's easy to use. People love to share photos. It invites followers to be creative with their postings and their comments, and the hashtags are a great way to file certain general interests, but also to create a great buzz around your company. Cross-promoting on social platforms for additional promotion through Instagram. You can use Instagram, but then also share it on your Facebook and your Twitter, especially if you're running a contest. It's streamlined for mobile users. It's intuitive and simple to use. And you have the ability to track the activity of your photos now, which is a field that should be expanding in 2013 as well. It targets a specific demographic. You're able, depending on your company, to go after people with specific interests utilizing the hashtags. Even though the demographic for Instagram as a whole may be expanding, for your brand, you're able to target better. It's also a really low-cost means to social media and for advertising. And let's see, tips for marketing with Instagram. Things to think about would be, would your business benefit from creating an Instagram following? What would it bring to your company? Would it be beneficial for you to advertise on Instagram and for Facebook and Twitter? And then, is inbound or outbound marketing right for you? Would it be better to put photos out there of, say, a product line as opposed to receive photos of your products being shown? And then, can you incorporate Instagram with promotions and other social media to optimize it for your company? So those are 3 questions to think about, whether Instagram is right for your business or not and how you would incorporate it. And with that, I'm going to let Elle take back over.
All right, perfect. And so this is what we have on these three platforms, Pinterest, Instagram, and Tumblr. We also are going to dive a little bit deeper into email and email marketing. And this workshop is actually going to be an in-person workshop. So we're going to escape behind the screens of our computers and meet in our Union Square office on January 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. So our CEO, Joe Applebaum, is going to be talking about email marketing and how to use it to properly promote your business online. So we'd love to invite you guys to join us at this workshop. And because you guys sat in on our webinar, we're going to offer you guys a special bonus. So if you type in 15 webinar 129 at the following link, emailmarketing129.eventbrite.com. I think I sent it to everyone in the promotional email I sent out this morning. You guys will get your tickets for, I think it's like $19, $20, which is fantastic, and it's going to be a really, really great thing. We do these about once a month or once every 2 months. This is the first email marketing workshop we've had in a while, so we'd definitely love to join, to invite everyone to this. If you do have any questions, I'm also going to type my email address into the chat box, so feel free to email me directly as well about this workshop or just about anything else. So upcoming webinars, we have a video marketing webinar coming up, which is also something we're very excited about. Joe, our CEO, is going to be joining the head of And Now Media, Mr. John Palacio, and they're going to be hosting a 1-hour-long webinar presentation that will highlight steps you can take to market your brand online through internet video. We recently expanded our own video department at Ajax Union, and we've had so much success so far that we just needed to share how just important video is. And that's going to be held on January 24th. That looks like a 4 to me. So yeah, January 24th, and you can watch it for free. Just go to ajaxunion.com/webinar to register for that today. So now I'm just going to open it up to questions. So we do need to wrap this up in about another 5-10 minutes or so. So I'm going to toss over as many questions as I can, and then anything that we actually do not get to, I will make sure to email you guys. I do see everyone's questions here and everyone's emails. So just on the off chance that we don't get to answer every single question, I will make sure to answer it via email later today. So first question I see is for Erin about Instagram. What guidelines for employees should be used for Instagram marketing?
That's a really great question. I would say stick to any of the guidelines that you use for your company's social media. If it's not appropriate for one of your sites, it probably wouldn't be appropriate for Instagram.
Okay. And Leslie, I see a few questions about Pinterest actually. So how long should you spend on Pinterest?
That's a really great question. I would say obviously you have to incorporate probably a lot of different social media updates in a day. I would say no more than 15 minutes, just getting on there and making sure you have fresh content, you're following the people that just followed you, and just interacting with people real quick, but I wouldn't spend, a ton of time on that. And again, I recommend using Pingraphy to schedule your pins, help you kind of cut down on some time you have to be on the site.
Mm-hmm. And Leslie, one more question. Can you convert your personal Pinterest to a business page?
Yes, if you happen to sign up for Pinterest with your personal account, but you were kind of using it as business anyway before Pinterest unveiled business pages, you can certainly do that easily if you just follow the URL mentioned. I believe it's business.pinterest.com, and you can simply convert your profile.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Erin, I see a question about Instagram. Is it beneficial to offer a promotion through Instagram?
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on the business, but especially if you have products that you're trying to promote, offering a promotion through Instagram, you can also spread it through Facebook and Twitter. It really just does depend on your business, or if you're offering a certain discount on products or services and you're looking to collect photos where people creatively use a product that you have.
Mm-hmm. And Erin, one more. Can Instagram be used in conjunction with Pinterest and Tumblr?
I think so, definitely. Even though there's not a way to directly post to either Pinterest or Tumblr right now, you can still promote a contest or a giveaway on Pinterest by pinning boards. Tumblr, not so much right now, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. And let me see, I see a question about Tumblr, so I'll take that one. How do I get more followers on Tumblr? So I think Tumblr is great, primarily just for engaging your users. And whereas Facebook can be very promotional, I think Tumblr is just more of a fun, sort of a more friendly tone, and it's primarily used for branding, which I mentioned. So I think to get more followers on Tumblr, you should really focus on expanding a comprehensive branding strategy for your company. So post pictures, engage your users, have contests, you can always have promotions as well, but I think it's more just for showing people who you are, like the man behind the company almost, or the woman behind the company, whichever works. Leslie, a question about hashtags. How do people search for hashtags on Twitter? On Pinterest.
It would be the same as there's a search box in the top left-hand corner, and it's sort of like any search. You would just type in what they're looking for, and hashtags are kind of just a good way for people who are using that to easily organize, because you can type in, cake and find something, or just as you'll get a lot of results, whereas if you have like hashtag chocolate cake, it's a little more narrow, and then just people who are doing that will show up with results.
Mm-hmm. And Erin, do you think that Instagram should be used to upload pictures? Why should Instagram be used to upload pictures instead of Twitter? Or do you think that that's the case? Yeah.
I think there are two separate platforms, whereas Twitter is more for the idea of microblogging. But when you upload pictures to Instagram, it keeps it within the same platform. You can also share them on both. But uploading to Instagram and being tagged or using a hashtag, it allows you to be more visible to followers within that platform.
Mm-hmm. And I see one more about Tumblr. How do I set up a custom domain for my blog? That's actually a very, very good question. Sometimes you'll see Tumblr blogs that don't have the word Tumblr in them, and other times it'll be, for example, my name is Elle, it would be l.tumblr.com. So the way to do that would be to buy a domain through a registrar, and then when you log into your Tumblr account, you can click the blog you'd like to update on the left side of your page. There is a box that will say use a custom domain name, and that's in that little box is where you can enter the domain that you'd like to use. So for example, you can use mywebsite.com or lspector.com, or a subdomain like blog.lspector.com, and you can set that up pretty easily. Afterwards, I think it takes 72 hours for Tumblr to actually make the change, up to 72 hours they say at least, and then they automatically redirect your Tumblr blog to your new custom domain. And would I recommend using a custom domain? Yes, I would. I think it just looks a little bit more professional to do that. Let me see. I do see a few other questions rolling in. I think we're kind of out of time, though. So I see everyone's questions and emails, and I will make sure to get those answered. We're just going to email you guys individually by the end of today. Make sure Erin and Leslie do so as well. And let me just type in my email in this email box right here. So if everyone checks their chat box, my name is Elle again, and my email is elles@ajaxunion.com. So if for some reason by the end of business hours today your question is not answered, feel free to email me and ask me to, or just remind me to answer it. But we'll make sure to get those answered for you as well. Otherwise, I think we have to sign off. Thank you guys so much for staying in and watching this. We love you guys and hope to see you at our upcoming video marketing webinar next Thursday at noon, ajaxunion.com/webinar. We will see you there. Thanks so much, and thank you, Erin and Leslie, for co-hosting with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call